All right, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Hegshot. Thanks so much for joining me today as we are taking a full look at the CSX from Smith & Wesson. A very interesting gun. We're going to talk about pros and cons, go to the range, talk about everything I can in this video. If this is your first time stopping by, man, do me a favor. Please make sure you subscribe, hit your notification bell so you never miss one of our videos that we're doing here. And also leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the brand new CSX. Big thanks to those guys, by the way, for sending this out so I could bring you a full review. If you would like to support the channel and become a channel member or a Patreon, I'll leave those links down below as well. Before we get started though, I got to show you this from today's sponsor. So what Hyper-Eon has made are these RFID NFC Bluetooth blockers, and basically you slide your key in here, close the case. I try to start up my truck, no key detected. It won't work. So basically you get home every single day, put your key in there, and you don't have anything to worry about. And if you have a push button start vehicle and they're able to get your signal with these relay boxes that can be easily had, they can drive off with your vehicle, your second biggest investment outside of your home, and it could just go away without you even knowing, which is pretty crazy. Even if you don't have a push button start vehicle, just a regular lock unlock type of key, they can still get into your car and steal your stuff. So all of my viewers, all of my subscribers get 25% off plus free shipping. So you're talking about a $40 investment to protect one of your biggest investments, and also protect your privacy, because I don't know if you've ever been stolen from. It sucks. It's one of the worst feelings ever. And if I can protect myself with something like this, yeah, I'm definitely down to do that. They also have a Juggernaut series like this. I actually prefer the Centennial just because I like the way it opens and the top doesn't come off. But they both have their little pros and cons. So there you go. There's the Hyper-Eon, man. Links down below with your discount code ready for you. All right, so another way to protect yourself from thievery. Big thanks to Hyper-Eon and their support as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. So coming in at 19.5 ounces here, this is the CSX, 6.1 inches in overall length. The overall width here is 1.1 inches, and you have a height of 4.6 inches. So where does this thing line up? Well, let's go ahead and bring in the P938. The 938 is going to be the closest competitor, and I'm just going to go slide to slide there. If you look at the barrel lengths, they are essentially the same. If we look at the width, it looks like the 938 is a little thinner, and then if we put them on their backs here really quick, you will see, now this one has the extended base plate magazine, but nonetheless, it's a little bit taller than the CSX. If this one had the flat base plate being the 938, they'd be practically the same. What isn't the same is the mag capacity. In the 938, you have 7 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. Not too bad, I guess, for that size of gun. In the CSX, you have in the flat base plate, 10 plus 1. In the extended base plate, 12 plus 1. So let's check that out against the 7 plus 1 938. And you can see the Smith & Wesson still comes in a little bit shorter there. Very impressive as far as the size to weight to capacity ratio. All right, now let's take a look at the rest of the features on the gun. You have an interchangeable palm swell back here, which I will show you how to change that out. Front and rear slide serrations, so they actually didn't go with the M&P style, fish scale style serrations. They actually went with a brand new style to them anyways. More of just a standard vertical cut deep into the frame, but they also added the EZ tabs on the back here, so it assists in charging up the gun, which is not a bad thing aesthetically or in function. It actually does a pretty decent job here. It's not as easy to rack as a M&P EZ shield, but few guns are. You still have that little assist right there, which is pretty cool. Magazine release here, they do give you a right side as well. So if you're a left-handed shooter, it is serrated. Of course, the palm swell is serrated in the rear, and it's also checkered on the front right there. Fully ambidextrous, really. I mean, you have your safety right here. You have your slide stop right here, and if we turn it around, you get the same features on the other side of the gun. Now you may be thinking, why does it come with a safety if you don't know anything about this gun? And that's because it is a single action only. So think of a 1911 style-ish type of gun. That's why. Because whenever you carry this gun, you load around into the chamber, the hammer is going to be back, and of course, anytime the hammer is back, you want to have the safety up. There is no real way to decock this gun as far as carrying it like on a double action trigger, like a true double to single action. It's going to be single action only. Trigger has a little safety blade in there, not sure why on this type of gun, but we'll talk more about the trigger after the shooting part of the review. Coming around to this side, and actually up on top here, it's got this anti-glare serrations. The sights are a 3-dot variety that are serrated as well to keep any kind of glare off of you while you're, outside in the middle of the day, whatever the case may be. Pretty nice set of sights. Smith & Wesson always does a decent job at this, and these are no exception here. Around on this side, they actually flared the ejection port there to help and aid with that, so you don't have any issues there. And then, of course, everything is pretty much the same on this side as well, slide stop and all of that good stuff. Same 18-degree grip angle, and it's got the Armor Night finish over the stainless steel sliding barrel, and you have an aluminum frame here as well. So, pretty light gun considering what it is. It's going to come right in about the same weight as like a Shield Plus. Shield Plus has about the same capacity there as well. All right, so let me show you how to do the palm swell here. So the first thing you want to do, make sure the gun's clear, and then you can just kind of decock the pistol manually like that. You have a little hole in the bottom of the grip right here, and then they give you this little piece right here. If you lose this, I can't imagine this being too big of an issue. You could use like the tip of a bullet, which might even be easier, but we're going to use it with the little tool here nonetheless. So basically, you push down, and you're going to kind of push down and pull back at the same time, and that's going to come off. And then you can put your new one back on. The new one has a little tab that's going to meet with the right under where your beaver tail is, and it's going to snap into place kind of like that. And this is what you're left with, and I'm not sure why they decided to do this the way they did it. I made sure in the box that I wasn't missing anything here, but this little piece right here, if you go with the small, is exposed, and it looks incomplete and just aesthetically ugly. Okay, that's it, just ugly. I hate it, and again, I'm not sure. So we're just gonna learn to shoot this with the large installed. Again, if we want to take this off, push down, pull back. Not sure, again, well, whatever. It is what it is. It works if you need it. It's there. And that looks a little bit better. Okay, so that's how you change that. And then if we want to break the gun down, which inevitably you're going to want to do, there's a little notch right here that's going to meet with the little notch right there. And you have, on the other side, there's a little pin right here. It's captive, so that's cool. And basically, you're just going to pull that back to about right there, so about 1/4 of an inch. Take the tip of a bullet or whatever will fit in there. And that's it. So you pull it back just a little bit, press that in, pull that out. This is going to come off. Have your recoil spring right there that's captive, barrel right there. All right, so not too bad as far as the takedown. Stainless steel components, pretty used to all this kind of stuff. You see your guide rails right there, and she is dirty. And this is going to be a great gun for a multitude of comparisons down the road here at least. And we're just going to want to get this lined up. One thing I did notice is that you want to, there we go, right there. Push that in there like that. Boom. Function check. We're good to go. All right, let's hit the range. After the range, we will talk about the pros and cons. I'll show you the trigger, and we'll end the video out, and I'll give you my overall opinion of the CSX. I will see y'all in a minute.
Ooh. know about that.
That little false reset, it gets me. I'm not a fan of this trigger, dude. A little bit snappy, but pretty damn accurate, though, I will say that.
Better.
All right, so hopefully y'all enjoyed that. As you can see, the little gun, man, and it is a pretty small gun, is actually a really decent shooter. Now let me show you the trigger, give you an idea what that looks like. Again, you have a little safety tab right there. You're gonna pull this back. It's pretty much from here, it's just very little movement, very, very little movement. And it just kind of breaks right there. Not the lightest trigger in the world. Again, that's not necessary. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what this is like. And then your reset is not here. Nope, nope, nope. It's right here. Okay, again, one more time. Boom. And this might be just an issue of mine, but listen. When I hear and feel that at the range, I tend to shoot off the reset. Sometimes I was shooting off of that, and obviously it wasn't the reset. That's the reset. Very similar to the original Shield in that kind of false reset. Now, I know there's going to be somebody, oh, well, you shouldn't shoot off the reset, and oh, you were flinching, and oh, okay. Okay, but my shots were pretty dang good with this gun. I tend to shoot off the reset. It is what it is. It's just part of this gun. The trigger on this thing, not great. Not impressed really with it at all. But again, you can see that it is an accurate gun. All right, let's try to pull it, see what we're coming in at. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. 7 pounds. So right in that range, a little over 7 pounds. Again, that's not the issue. The trigger is just not great. And I was expecting something more like a 1911 or, you know, at least like the 938, which is way more predictable. Boom. Boom. This one's got a little curve to it and all that kind of stuff, whatever. Much better trigger in the 938. Let's pull on the 938 just to, it's been a while since I've done this with this. 6 pounds, about 7 pounds. It's just a more predictable, nicer pull through and a nicer reset. Again, I don't know what happened there. Obviously the gun shoots good, but it's just not something I'm a fan of, and I'm not a fan of this little blade right here. I just feel like it's unnecessary. There you go. As far as recoil, there is a more felt recoil than something like the Shield Plus, but it wasn't unmanageable at all. I think with them adding, you know, making this a little bit heavier in 19.5 ounces, it really did a nice job, because overall this is a pretty dang small gun, so they did a good job there. Obviously 10 and 12 rounds is amazing. Front and rear slide serrations, by the way, we're going through pros right now and then we'll get to the cons. Slide serrations did exactly as they should. Everything worked there. The sights are pretty incredible. I actually like the sights on this gun, man. They're a little bit different than the M&Ps I've seen in the past as far as their design and things like that, but essentially they do a very nice job. They're not night sight, but you know, it is what it is. You got a loaded viewport right there. The way the gun feels in the hand, just like most M&Ps and Smith & Wesson in general, that 18-degree grip angle, very natural, point of aim, love it. The 12-round mag, again, if you need a little bit more room there for your fingers to get on, does a good job. All right, the beaver tail has this little thing for the hammer to sit down in there. So even though it has a relatively low bore axis, no risk of hammer or, you know, really even kind of slide bite. Mrs. Hegshot thought she was getting something like that, but I don't think that's it. I think maybe where the safety tab was there, might have been pinching her hand just a little bit. But it is what it is. The safety right there works as it should, and you can work the slide at the same time. Slide stop, if you want to use it as a release, you can absolutely do that right there. Magazine release, all of that stuff works fantastic, and I like this grip texturing. It's aggressive enough, keeps the gun locked in your hand, not overly aggressive though, and not even really where you don't need it on the gun. I think they did a great job there. But there are cons with this gun, like every gun. First con, you've probably already guessed it, that trigger. It needs some work, man. Just not a fan of it. I've already told you what I need to tell you about it. Not a huge fan of it at all. Again, is it manageable? Is it workable? Does it matter in a self-defense situation? Maybe not. You've seen it's a highly accurate gun for what it is. Just not a fan of that trigger at all. And another thing I'm not a fan of is this little sleeve. They kind of went back to this, and I remember people hating this. I personally had never had an issue with it, but I'm not a fan of this thing moving. Yes, it can easily be fixed, but at the same time, I just think it needs to be stationary. If, God forbid, this thing was in your pocket, this is your backup mag, you need to reload. It seems like it goes in and out easy enough to where it wouldn't be an issue. I just wish it didn't even move at all. That's just my opinion. The other thing I don't like is this funky little way that they have to remove your palm swell. But more importantly, I can live with that. More importantly is the fact that the grip texturing doesn't match the gun aesthetically when you put the small grip texturing on there. So if the small one is what you need to comfortably shoot the gun or reach the trigger or whatever, you should at least have a aesthetically pleasing texture there. It shouldn't detract from the gun if you're using one of the components that comes with the gun. Makes sense? Just my opinion there. Everything else, man, even from the slide serrations, did really good. I would give this gun, because it's such a it's a weird gun, because you have things like the Shield Plus, where it's got a much more predictable trigger, and this is going to make a great comparison. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but you know, you have guns like the Shield Plus in the same lineup, where you don't have to contend with a safety or, you know, these little kind of quirky things with this. I would give this gun probably like a 7.5 out of 10. I don't know how necessary this is, but I also kind of thought the same thing about the Shield EZ, and that has, now I obviously see the benefit of it, and a lot of people do. So I may just be way off here. I just don't necessarily see a huge need for this gun. That's just my opinion though. I think the Shield Plus does it, and does it way better than this. But if you want something like a 1911 style gun, this may be a good option for you. Options are never a bad thing. I'm just giving you my opinion, in that if it were me, and I guess I am going to jump the gun, I would take the Shield Plus and leave some of the quirky things here behind. So that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. Again, I will compare it to the Shield Plus and do my due diligence and just show you my opinion on those things. In the meantime, I'd love to hear what your opinion is down below. It's not a bad gun. Again, if you want something with the safety and these kinds of things that has capacity way better than a 938. If you're a 938 carrier or a fan, dude, you just got a huge upgrade, especially in capacity. They've been needing to upgrade the 938 for a long time. And I get it. I get it. There's a lot of 1911 guys out there that want something smaller than your standard 1911, obviously, or even your officers' models and stuff. So I do get it, but again, it's not something for me. If I had the Shield Plus and I had this right here in my hand, I would choose the Shield Plus any day. But that's just me. There you go. 7.5 out of 10. That's just my opinion on it. I'd love to hear what yours is down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.